Hi and welcome. This is Barbara from Vienna, Austria, and thank you for joining me for this Easter edition of Junk Journal with me. What you see here is my lovely scrap drawer that I have, and we're going to be using the smallest scraps today with this masking tape. It's the thinner one. And we're going to be making a snippet roll, a very small one. And this idea using the masking tape as a base I got from Sigita. And it's so cool because this way you don't have to glue everything down, so you can just stick it there. But I advise to do this method only if you're going to be sewing over it with your sewing machine. If you don't want to do that or you don't have one, then I suggest you do use a glue, because otherwise they won't stick down well enough. But if you're going to sew over it, this is perfect, and it's so quick because you don't have to use your glue. So yeah, so I just chose a few scraps, and anyway, my scraps in this drawer are all kind of neutral colored, so everything basically goes with everything. And I even had a page here with some eggs and nests, so that is perfect for Easter. So actually, but sadly, I'm going to be covering some of that up again later. So this is basically the base of the roll, and then you can decorate it, of course, however you like. And today I'm going to be decorating in, of course, Easter style. And you can, what I love about these is you can do this, of course, as long as you want, and then you just have the base, and you sew over it, and maybe you add some lace or buttons or whatever, and then I would suggest to leave the other decorations for whenever you know what you're going to use it for, because it's so versatile. You can put anything on it, and then you just have it ready to go. And so we're going to be using two pieces of this roll in my junk journal. This is my butterfly junk journal that I have totally neglected because of other projects. So I do still have a couple of pages to complete in it before it's finally done, this chunky monkey. And yeah, so we'll be making two different things with this snippet roll. The first one is going to be a belly band, and the second one is going to be just a decoration for a tuck spot. So this is what it looks like on the back, and you can just roll it up and store it somehow. And so then I went over it with a zigzag stitch with some brown thread on my sewing machine to make sure everything is in place. So that's a great base. So next I wanted to add some bits of lace. So that's my drawer with some of my lace or lace ribbons. And I'm just going to choose a few to add in various spots. So this is one I really love. And I'm just going to cut a piece of that off and use my 3-in-1 glue to glue that down. Then this is another one that I chose. I'm just trimming that a little bit. Now I'm leaving some space in between. I don't want to put too many next to each other. And this is the third one. Very delicate, very beautiful lace. I have no idea where I got this from. And I'll put that more towards the end there. And that's all I'm going to put for now. And with the rest of the decorations, as I said, we're going to do that later. So this is a gorgeous print from the Digital Collage Club. And what I did is I shrunk them down to 35%. So this is what they look like with 35. And as you can see, I have fussy cut them and I've already inked around them. And I did print them on 200 GSM white cardstock. Look how adorable these are. Oh my, so cute. So these are going to go onto one of the pieces that I'm going to use as a belly band. So now we're moving into my butterfly journal, and we're going to find the first page that still needs something on it, which is this one here on the left. So I'm going to cut off a piece here to match the height of my page. And I did choose a middle piece because I wanted those two images with the egg and the nest on it. And now I'm using, this is a cutoff from that white cardstock I was using, which I'm going to use as a base for this because I did want it to have a little more structure. So I inked around the edges and cut it approximately the size of the snippet roll, and I'm going to glue that on. And I inked the edges because I was sure that some of the edges were going to show through and I didn't want any white to show through. So, and that makes it also easier to stick something behind it if it has a smooth surface on the back rather than the masking tape. So now I'm taking these cute little images and I'm going to place them, I'm going to choose a few and place them on my snippet roll and glue them down. So I do have the link for the Digital Collage Club below, again with a discount, a $5 discount for the yearly subscription and a $10 discount for the lifetime subscription. And they have really, really adorable images, and it's so worth it. If you get like a yearly membership and you just download a few times, you really get your money's worth because they have thousands, like over 1,000 different digitals to download, every style you can think of, every theme you can think of, even tutorials. So it's so worth it. In the end, it's so much cheaper than if you buy all your digis separately from Etsy. So check them out if you want to. I really love them. And I'm not worried about then, you know, it's like, oh, do I want to get this? Can I get this? How it adds up so quickly. I just download whatever I want. There's no limit. You can sell anything you want that you create. So yeah, I can only highly recommend it. I've been using them way before I was a design team member, which I have just recently become. So yeah. So anyway, going back to this, look how cute these are. So I'm gonna glue that down on the top and the bottom. So that's our belly band. And now these are, this is another set from the Digital Collage Club. And I also thought these were really cute. And I wanted to use one of these images for the front of a card, for a journaling card that I wanted to make to put into the belly band. And it was a hard decision, but I did choose this adorable bunny that I fussy cut and inked around. And now I'm going to take my 200 GSM beige marbled cardstock and I'm going to check what size it needs to be to become a journaling card to fit in my belly band. So I just trim that down. And I'm also going to use a book page. This happens to be from an Alice in Wonderland journal because I'm working on a journal at the moment. You will see that in another video. And so I had that book laying around on my desk, so that's why I'm using that. And I'm using my Joycraft tearing ruler. And by the way, as always, I have all my supplies that I can linked below in the description box for you if you're looking for any of the supplies I'm using. So I'm going to glue that on my cardstock after I have inked up the edges. And next I'm rounding the corners with my 4mm corner rounder, inking those as well, front and back. And then I also wanted to add a coffee dyed doily underneath the bunny just to add a little more texture and interest. So I thought that looked cute. So I'm going to again adhere that with the 3-in-1 glue. And put the bunny right over that. He is so adorable. Oh my gosh. And to finish up the front side, I have this really old Easter stamp set, which is a set that I really wouldn't get today anymore, but I think it was one of my first sets that I got locally. So it still has some use. So I'm stamping the Happy Easter, and that first ink wasn't bold enough, so I'm using my black archival ink here, and I'm stamping the Happy Easter on one of the book pages, and I'm gonna tear around that and ink around it and stick it on the bottom as well. And by the way, just for fun, if you would like to see last year's Easter junk journal with me, I will link that down below as well. And the reason why I'm linking it, because I just watched it again yesterday, and it made me crack up because everything in that video that could go wrong did go wrong. And it's just funny because I think we all have those days where things just don't work out. So yeah, feel free to check that out as well. Okay, so for the back of my card, I wanted to do some journaling, and I will just read you what I wrote, which is, so it was April 8th when I did that, and what I wrote is, we're in the middle of the worldwide coronavirus pandemic, and I have so much to be grateful for. I love being at home. We are currently in quarantine for the 4th week now. I can earn money without having to leave my flat. I can still be active by going for runs and doing fitness at home with YouTube videos. I'm having a lot of fun with those. Actually, I'm doing a different routine almost every day. I'm varying between like cardio and strength training, and I'm really enjoying that. Fourth one is, I can have a chat with friends anytime via Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, etc. And the last one is, I never get bored because paper crafting rocks. So those are definitely wonderful things to be thankful for in hard times. So this is the first spread, and now I wanted to use another piece of the snippet roll for my next page. So again, I'm looking for a page that still needs to be done, and I found this one here with a very blank and empty flap. So I thought this is perfect to put the larger one of my snippet roll pieces. So I'm going to first distress the flap around the edges with my vintage photo. Then I'm going to glue that flap down to become a tuck spot. And then I wanted to use one of my vintage bingo cards as a base, and I'm just checking if they actually all fit in there, and they do. And I chose this beautiful girl image, which was on that same sheet I showed you before, and I want to collage her on top of one of the bingo cards. So here I'm checking which of these would be the best background for her, although I will be using some other pieces behind her as well. And I kind of like this one best, I guess because it's the most neutral one. This red was a bit too much, and I didn't really enjoy the green. So yeah, I went with this one. So I'm going to just do a very small and easy collage on the front there using one of my favorite washis here. This is from AliExpress. And I'm running out of it. I actually need to order another one because I use this all the time. So I'm going to just use a part of that as a background, and I'm gonna tear all the edges because I prefer the ripped or the torn look rather than the straight edges. I'm inking around that again. I'm just gonna peel that off, and that's the first piece of my background. I'm only going to use 3 pieces. The next piece is going to be again another part of book page. Trying to find the right placement for that. And yeah, after inking that up, I am placing that down, and I'm just looking at the piece, the finished piece now. It's beside me, and it's funny because where the book page is, the one line that you can read that's sticking out says, "You ought to tell me who you are," which is really cute because that girl is sitting there and we don't know who she is. That is, I love when these coincidences happen because I never read what was on that page. And this third piece here is one from my recently dyed papers where I used some ink, some calligraphy ink in sepia with my dyeing. So if you're interested in seeing that and you haven't, I have my coffee dyeing video linked below as well in case you're interested. So those are all the pieces I'm going to use as my background. I don't think it needs more. And now I'm going to glue her over that. And I really like this collage. And I didn't want to add any more words to it because I already had some words from the book page and the large bingo on top. I think it would have been too much. Next, I have this coffee dyed book page with these black and white floral images, and they come from this book which I had gotten from my Goodwill sometime last year. It was a series of books. Each book was actually 20 euros, so not so cheap for a Goodwill, but it has multiple languages in here, and I really loved the images here. It does also have some colored images, but actually in this one I really enjoy the black and white ones more. And I should probably be using more of these. My issue with these, usually why I don't use them more, is because they're quite large. But you see here, they're absolutely beautiful, and it was absolutely worth buying this book. Look at this poppy here, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and they're very good quality paper. They're heavy paper and they're very smooth. They're almost like satin like feel to them. And I wasn't sure how they were going to dye at all, whether the dye was going to stick on it, but as you see, it did. And so what I'm going to do is, for the back of my bingo card, I'm going to use the floral image part. So I'm just tearing that to be a little smaller than the card itself. I did not feel like writing more in this session, so that's why I wanted to cover up this back side with something. Just gonna glue that on. And then I have these word stickers. I think I got these from Action, which is a Dutch chain, long time ago. And I just wanted to see whether there was something that might work for the moment, for what's happening. And I find this one that says "one day at a time," which is just perfect. So I go with that one and I ink around the edges. And I'm sticking that on. And that is a very simple bag, but I love the feel of it, the vintage feel. And there's our cute front with this adorable girl with the bunny. So that's gonna go into our little tuck spot. And then to complete it, I also wanted to add some more decoration on our little snippet roll. Oh yeah, and it looks like, you see this gnome, he's pointing and laughing on the left side, so it actually looks like he's laughing at the girl. So I had these random pieces laying on my desk because I had been doing some collaging. So I thought, let's put the butterfly on the snippet roll and add the little breathe, because I think that also really fits to the theme and to the other thing that says one day at a time. So those are my two kind of Easter spreads. I hope you can spend a pleasant Easter at home anyway, even though you cannot probably see all your loved ones. But yeah, we know this is necessary and we'll get through it. So just keep crafting and stay positive. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.